Hello everybody, Doing Quick Shane here. Welcome to another episode of Dylan's Disney Movie Reviews. Why don't we skip the plot and get right on with the review? Released on December 19th, 1962, the movie is In Search of the Castaways. The film starts with somebody throwing a bottle with a message in it into the ocean, and the bottle makes its way across the ocean as the opening credits roll. After the credits, we come to Lord Glenarvan's yacht in Glasgow in 1858, where two kids named Mary and Robert Grant, played by Hayley Mills and Keith Hampshire respectively, arrive with Professor Jock Paganel, played by the late Maurice Chevalier. They show the guard the bottle from Captain Grant, who is Mary and Robert's father, and asks to see Lord Glenarvan, but the guard refuses to let them on because they weren't invited to the party.
But we've come all the way from Plymouth today, and it has cost me my last franc.
And we haven't had a thing to eat.
So that's it. Another trick, is it? Get out of here with your wild tales, your hard luck stories. You almost had me ticking in for a minute. Go on, stand clear of the gate there.
Come on.
So Mary and Robert run through the gate, and the guard chases after them while Professor Paganel goes through the gate. Now that they've made it past the gate, they need to figure out how to get past the guard at the gangplank, and the professor tells the kids to walk up the plank backwards, and so they do. The guard chases after them, and Jock walks up the plank. The kids go into the dining room, followed by the professor, and he tries to get them some food. Mary then reaches for a piece of cake from under the table, but she and Robert are caught. They run away. Mary runs into Lord Glenarvan's son John, played by Michael Anderson Jr., and Robert runs into Lord Glenarvan, played by the late Wilfred Hyde White. And he and Mary tell him that they need to talk to him. They tell him about the bottle that had a note inside, and the professor comes in and shows it to him.
First question always, where'd you find the bottle?
You see, my lord, I went fishing with some students.
And I suppose you cut open a fish and found the bottle inside.
Oui, oui, my lord, a 220-pound shark.
Husband, throw this man off the ship before I turn him over to the police.
No, your lordship.
But it is the truth, what I tell you.
Ridiculous. Why should a shark want to swallow a bottle?
Oh, what was in his mind? I don't know. I tell you only what was in his stomach.
You make a career of this, do you? Exploiting children?
I am Jacques Eliassin François Paganel, professor of geography, University of Paris. My credentials, my lord. Oh.
Forged, I imagine, like the note in the bottle. All right, Stuart.
So the professor's kicked off the yacht, but he sneaks back on next to a horse, hides in a lifeboat, and the yacht sets sail. After breakfast the next day, John tells Mary that he finds it hard to believe that the professor found that bottle with a note inside in a shark.
Let me ask you something. If you were a castaway and you had a bottle, wouldn't you put a note in it and throw it into the sea?
Oh, I don't think so. After all, it's such a small chance, isn't it?
Well, what would you do then? Just sit there with the empty bottle until you died or something?
All right, I suppose I would try it. But I wouldn't expect someone to find it inside a shark.
Well, if that's where they did find it, you wouldn't expect them to just forget about you, would you?
You never saw that Frenchman before in your life, did you? Until he showed up with the bottle. And yet you believe every word he says.
And no matter what he says, you and your father refuse to believe him.
Suppose I told you that I'd found a bottle with a note in it. Would you believe me?
Well, did you?
Yes.
And what did it say?
It said, disregard first message.
Later, John asks his father what he would do if he was a castaway, but he won't listen.
Father, will you listen to me?
I mean that for
Suppose you were a castaway and you had a bottle. You wouldn't just sit there staring at it until you died or something, would you? You'd at least try putting a note into it. And suppose for some strange reason it did get swallowed by a shark.
Most unlikely, I'd say.
Very well, then. If you won't listen, I shall be getting off at Plymouth with Mary and Robert.
Oh, come.
I feel very strongly about this, Father.
My dear boy, if that's the way you feel about it, let's have a look at the blasted note. Where is it?
In the bottle.
Well, where's the bottle?
The Frenchman has it.
Confound it, where's the Frenchman?
You had him thrown off the ship in Glasgow.
That's a fine thing. When I really want something, no one takes the slightest notice. If I happen to drop a casual remark...
Casual remark? Throw him off the ship before I call the police. We ought to hang him from the yardarm.
Now we're in the deuce of a fix. That Frenchman might be anywhere by now.
So the professor comes in and shows the bottle to the Lord.
But this is useless. There's practically nothing of it left.
But with a little study, a little intelligence, it is possible to make out what is said. You will see one thing without question. Their location is given as 37 degrees, 11 minutes, southern latitude.
That's no good without the longitude.
Consider first, Milord. On the 37th parallel, there are only a few places they could be.
What I've always said. Captain Grant's anywhere at all is in Australia. It's only logical, monsieur, if you know anything about shipping and commerce.
Use the head, Milord. The note makes reference to being captured, no? And you can make out the word Indian or Indians. So where, on the 37th parallel, would they be captured by Indians?
The Lord then figures out Captain Grant was captured by Indians in South America. So that's where they're going. Once they get there, they ride through the Andes on horses, and the professor sings a song in French.
Si nous tombons, patapoum, et c'est la mort effroyable. Mais qu'importe, nous avons eu la joie de grimper. N'ayons pas peur des belles et hautes montagnes. Grimpons, 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 grimpons.
During the song, the professor tells the Lord that they must go to the pass of Antugo to find Captain Grant.
Then follow the parallel until we find Captain Grant.
Jolly good trick to throw a bottle into the ocean from up there, I must say.
But could he not put the bottle into a river? And would it not flow down to the sea, eh?
They then stop at the place to make camp for the night. However, an Indian tells them about Drango Piri.
Drango Piri. What's the fella talking about?
It is not Spanish. It must be a local Indian term. Hey. What means Drango Piri?
Drango Piri. Drango Piri.
Oh, I think he wants to tell us it gets terribly cold up here.
Oh, we build a fire, no matter how cold, no matter how... Drango Piri, we stay in hut.
No stay.
Listen to me, I tell you when to go and when to stay.
No stay.
We stay here tonight.
You stay. We go.
Don't you dare to try and tell me. I think the fella really means it.
That night, Mary sings a song called Castaway.
Castaway, castaway, though you may be lost in the wilderness over the sea.
After that, they go into the hut, and Robert mentions something about an earthquake, which is what Drango Pier is.
Good gracious me.
In the whole world, no place has such big, such beautiful, such magnificent earthquakes as right here. But it is one chance in a million. We should be so fortunate.
Yes, of course, quite right. Besides, this place looks as if it's been here for hundreds of years, doesn't it? I mean, it's safe to assume that it'll last one more night, eh? Oui, monsieur?
Oui, my lord.
And I'll wake you up if one comes, your lordship.
Everybody then goes to sleep. The next morning, an earthquake occurs and they evacuate the hut. A piece of the mountain they're standing on breaks apart from the mountain and slides down the mountain.
I say, this is getting rather dangerous.
Then we attempt to change course. Everybody to port.
It worked!
That's better. Much obliged. Look out, look out!
This way, everybody, quick! To the port, quick!
Port, quickly!
No, starboard.
Port, I said it!
Starboard.
Where did I go?
Perfect timing.
After sliding through a glacier, the chunk of mountain hits a boulder and breaks in half, and Mary and Robert are separated from the others. Robert then gets taken by a condor, and the others go after him, but then a gunshot's heard shooting the condor and falls to earth with Robert.
Robert!
I got dizzy coming down, but it was a jolly good view from up there.
Oh, thank goodness you're all right.
They then see who shot the condor. It's an Indian chief named Thalcave, played by the late Antonio C. Fariello. And they ask him if he knows where Captain Grant is.
3 white men. Indians hold them for ransom money. You very slow to come.
Are they all right?
Last time I hear they're well, but very tired of being prisoners.
Just a minute, what do you mean, last time you here? Don't you come from the village where they're held?
No, I'm an Araucanian chief. Thalcave, my people do not rob, do not steal, do not hold prisoners for ransom.
Well, where are they?
Far away, at the foot of the mountain. Great plain that reaches far as you can see. Many days to cross.
The Pampas.
Well, couldn't you take us there?
First we stop at my village for horses and supplies. Then Thalcave will try help you find them.
So Thalcave takes the group to a big ombu tree where they rest for the night. Later, Thalcave tells them a flood is coming and orders them to stay in the tree while he goes for help.
My father?
I wake him. To be safe, we tie things so they do not fall.
Flood gone. You go quick to tree. I ready for help.
Not even raining.
Oh, you're dirty! Yeah! You!
Soon the flood comes in. John wakes his father up and they climb up the tree.
Highly irregular. Flood like this and not even raining.
The next morning, the professor starts a fire to cook some eggs for breakfast, and comes a song called Enjoy It.
Each moment is a treasure, enjoy it. We are travelers on life's highway, enjoy the trip. Each lovely twist and byway, each bump and dip. If there's a complication, enjoy it. You've got imagination, employ it. Then you'll see roses in the snow. Joie de vivre will make them grow. Voila, that's life. Enjoy it.
Sometime later, the group's still waiting for Thalcave to return with help, and the flood's only gone down 2 inches. John starts to think that Thalcave isn't coming back and says they should build a raft. He then sees a log and lassos it. However,
Keep out of the way.
It's a tiger.
No, jaguar, Felix Onka.
Get that beast out of here.
It's probably as frightened of us as we are of it. Just a big cat, my lord.
Well, get rid of it, get rid of it. Can't stand cats at the best of times. Confounded things always make me sneeze.
Go on. Get out of here. Go on. Get out.
John, the poor thing.
later that night, the Lord puts a message into a bottle and throws it into the water, only to have it eaten by an alligator. Suddenly, the tree catches fire.
We'll beat it out.
No time for that sort of thing. Get out of the way. You see, it's too late now.
After failing to put it out, John says they should get to his raft, but then the jaguar jumps onto it and it floats away. Just then, it starts raining and the fire is put out. Then the tree is lifted from the ground. The next day, the tree is floating on the water and Falke returns with help.
You come in canoe. We go fast. To village where they hold prisoners 3 sailor men.
3 sailor. Oh, monsieur, we found them. It's like a miracle.
I say, careful. Come along, let's get aboard. Careful now, careful. You're a welcome sight, sir, believe me.
The group's then taken to the village where the 3 sailors are being held prisoner and...
Stop it. Who the devil are these people? Where's Captain Grant?
Is not right, men?
Professor then tells the Lord about the Mako shark that swallowed the bottle from Captain Grant.
It lives only in and around the Indian Ocean. That's what the word Indian means in the note. Not that they were captured by Indians.
If you knew this, why didn't you tell me before I paid out all that money?
I kept hoping, my lord, that maybe somehow I could be wrong. This can mean only one thing. Captain Grant is in Australia.
Australia? That's where I wanted to go in the first place, only I was stupid enough to let you talk me out of it.
Falke then tells them that they need to keep looking, so they head to Australia. Once they arrive, they meet a man named Thomas Anton, played by the late George Sanders, who tells them about when he found Captain Grant.
2 years ago, I was caught in a violent storm in the Tasman Sea. We picked up the poor fellow, badly battered and half drowned, just off the coast of New Zealand.
New Zealand?
He said he was from the Britannia and that she'd gone down with all hands. He died during the night, and our ship combed the area the following day. You know, until I read that piece in the paper about the message in the bottle, I had no idea that there were any survivors.
But why wasn't the sinking reported when you reached your destination?
Well, I assumed that it was. I was only a passenger on the ship, you know.
Heavens, if he landed in New Zealand, he must have been captured by the Maoris. I'll report this to the authorities at once. Osborne?
I'm afraid it isn't as easy as that.
Why ever not?
You haven't had my experience in dealing with our colonial government. Eventually, you learn to get along in spite of them. They talk endlessly, and they need authorization from London. You'll be lucky if they're ready in a year.
But anything could happen to him in a year.
The Lord then asks to talk to Ayrton alone, so the Professor, John, and Mary step out.
Please understand, I don't wish to do anything against the laws.
Certainly not.
But at the same time, I don't intend to leave Captain Grant in the hands of those bloodthirsty cannibals. So I appeal to you as a man with experience and knowledge of local conditions to help us before it's too late.
All right. I'll gather up some men who know the Maoris and who can handle any kind of situation.
By Jove, you mean we just go in and have it out with them?
Oh, good heavens, no. We'll take along some supplies to barter, and then if Captain Grant and his men are still alive, we'll buy them back.
Capital idea. I can't tell you how grateful I am to you.
I need hardly remind you that we must be discreet about what we plan to do.
Oh, of course, don't want to be tied down by a lot of confounded red tape, do we? Just my son John and Captain Mangles, otherwise not a word to a soul.
That's just as it should be.
So Ayrton gets a crew and supplies together to go to the Maori country, and soon they get going. While at sea, John tells Mary that the supplies, trinkets, and trade goods are so they can get her father back, and he even shows her.
All right, Pandora, which box do you want me to open?
That one.
You sure you don't have a guilty feeling? After all, it is rather like spying on someone. Especially when they've gone out of their way to be so nice to you.
Open it.
I will. Nothing is too much trouble if it satisfies your curiosity. Voila, mademoiselle.
Trade goods. Trinkets, he said.
So that's his game. He's using my father's ship as a gun runner.
Some of the crew then capture John and Mary, and they, along with Robert, the Professor, and the Lord, are put into a lifeboat.
I say you can't put us out there without oars. It's not human.
Oh, the current will carry you to the shore, if that's any consolation. But I'm afraid we'll have to keep your crew on board until they've taught us the fine points of using steam. We're unaccustomed to such luxuries in the South Pacific.
You'll pay for this?
You've got it backwards, old man. We have been paid for it, and quite handsomely. Cheer up, Frenchie. You promised you'd be the happiest man in the world if you were wrong about Captain Grant being in Australia. And you were. Brian and Riley, lay it off and stand by to make sail. Aye, aye,
You were in Plymouth. My father signed you on the day he sailed.
As third mate. What a memory.
You'll hang for this, you know. I'll see to it personally. I'll make a full report to the Admiralty.
You do that, and here's a bottle to put it in. Let's hope it isn't swallowed by a shark.
The boat's then lowered into the water, and as they float to the Maori island, they see the Maoris, and they have nothing to trade them for Captain Grant. The Maoris then capture them and lock them in a little hut with another prisoner named Bill Gay, played by the late Wilfred Brambell.
It's all right, my dear. I'm sure he's harmless.
What think you now? I be crazy, eh? Not a bit of it. I be smart. Mark ye well the words of old Bill Gay.
Bill Gay? Weren't you the mate on my father's ship?
Depends entirely who your father was, what was his ship, and who you be for that matter. You see, I be smart. Makes a difference who she is.
I'm Mary Grant. My father's Captain Grant of the Britannia.
Well, why didn't he say so before? Fine ship she was.
Mary then asks Bill where her father is, and he tells her something.
He's gone.
Where?
Same as before. Diane's Inlet.
Did the Morris take him?
Nay, he be smart too. He learns the way to keep alive. For they need him when they get more guns.
Guns? Then it must be Eton.
Aye, that's who it be. Somehow the devil has got another ship.
Were there 3 of you?
Aye, 3 of us there were. Captain Grant, McNabb, and old Bill Gay against Ayrton and all of his mutinous crew.
My father, Captain Grant. Did he and McNabb go together to Diane's Inlet?
Nay, my child, I say unto you, McNabb, he was not smart. He was caught when he tried to escape.
Bill then tells them he has a plan to escape.
Could a man force himself through there? Even a man who has gone without food to make himself as thin as a man can be? Nay, I say unto you, it is impossible. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle.
Robert, do you think you could crawl through there?
Maybe if I tried very hard.
You be smart, too.
Even if he could, what good would it do?
I'll show you now. The Lord helps them that helps themselves.
He then shows them a rope he made with the 2 other sailors, ties one end of it around Robert's feet. Robert manages to squeeze out through a hole above the door, and they lower him. He then starts swinging and makes it across the bridge and lets the others out. They use the rope to get down the cliff. Suddenly, the Maoris see them escaping and start climbing down the rope, but luckily Bill sets it on fire.
Aye, what say ye? Who be smart now? Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord.
He then joins the others, and the Maoris chase after them, so they roll a boulder down, which also uncovers the volcano.
Lucky's dropped that chance in a million.
At the university, my lord, I'm considered the wizard of the croquis court.
The group makes it to a safe spot, and the volcano erupts.
Oh, it's horrible.
Have no fear, mademoiselle. The Maoris can run faster than the lava. Enjoy it.
They then continue their search for Captain Grant, who is with Ayrton.
All right, Grant. Tell them there's 6 more boxes, nearly 200 rifles still in the hold. I'll set the whole lot ashore as soon as they hand over the money.
How do I know the rest are as good as this one?
I give you my word.
That's what you offered last time. When you unloaded a pile of junk, Kahiri Okitewaka. Ahare Tikinagap.
Now, really, Grant, every time I do something charitable, I live to regret it. Like putting you ashore alive.
And I intend to stay alive. By not recommending rifles I haven't examined.
The group rows to shore in boats, and Mary sees her father. They board the Lord's yacht, take out the guard, and free the prisoners from the brig. Ayrton's crew finds them and they attack.
Send him over to me.
Oh, got him!
Ayrton then comes on board and the Lord shows up.
Hello, Glenarvan. Welcome aboard. Well, here we are. This makes us even, doesn't it? You've got your ship back, and I'm bringing you Captain Grant. So why don't we,
Captain, take him below with the rest of the scoundrels.
Ah, you've sown the wind, and I say to you, you shall reap the whirlwind.
Captain Grant, played by the late Jack Willem, by the way, then boards the yacht with some Maoris, and he's reunited with Mary and Robert.
He's a French professor. Found the note in the bottle. Look, Glenarvan took us on his shop. And we've been all around the world looking for you. America. And we were captured by Maoris.
My dear children. Oh, how I prayed for this day. I was beginning to give up.
You must be catching your cold.
See you again. And now you're suddenly here, and I'm able to hold you both close in my arms.
As they head home, Bill says that he was the one who put the note in the bottle.
And put the bottle in the sea. Cast thy bread on the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days.
But they seemed so sure it was their father's handwriting.
It was, wasn't it?
Now you know my secret. Why I ran away to sea. The voice is the voice of a God-fearing man. But the hands are the hands of a forger.
Bill, you scoundrel!
John and Mary then start a relationship.
Here we are, all of us together.
All of us. Did you ever see so many stars?
Once on top of a mountain.
Did you know that down there out of the light you can see the Southern Cross?
Southern Cross?
So, that's my little girl.
Right, George, they do grow up.
Tous les climats sont pareils pour l'amour. I was just thinking to myself, no matter where you are in the world, it is always different, but it is always the same. In English, you would say, all climates are the same for love.
And that was In Search of the Castaways. What are my thoughts on it? It's pretty good. In the end, I give this film a rating of 3.5 stars out of 5. Well, that's it for In Search of the Castaways. Be sure to join next week when I'll be reviewing the animated Disney film based on the Disney series, which started out as a Nickelodeon series. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell your friends about me, leave some questions in the comments below, subscribe, and hit that like button.